Hi, Mark Decker here. Today we're going to learn about malicious websites. There's a lot of dangerous websites out there, but why are they dangerous and how do you know which ones are bad? Let's find out. So what makes a website malicious? Well, there's really two main types of malicious sites. One is a hacked site, so this is a real website but some criminal has hijacked it. And unfortunately, it's really hard to tell if a site's been hacked. You might get a security warning from your browser, but not always. More commonly, you'll find the fake site. So this is a bogus website some criminal has set up specifically to do bad stuff, and it might look very real, but you can detect these if you read the web address very carefully. So websites that are malicious may try and capture personal info, user ID and password. Typically there'll be some form they want you to verify your information or log in. It might redirect your browser, so you might go to a legitimate website that's been hacked and it will redirect you to a bogus malicious site. Or it might try to install some malware on your computer, like a virus. And that might happen just by going to the website. The minute you get there, it starts installing. Or it might prompt you to install something, and this is a bit more dangerous because now you're giving it permission. And typically the common trick is to say, oh, we found a virus on your computer, click here to clean it. But there's no virus on your computer. You'll actually be installing the virus if you click yes. Now you may already know what a URL is, but in case you don't, it's just an acronym, stands for Uniform Resource Locator, starts with an HTTP:// etc. And some of them can be really long and full of a lot of gobbledygook, but don't worry about that because you can ignore most of that stuff and it's really not that hard to read. Now, a URL may not be what it seems, however. Fortunately, if you know the secret of how to read one, you can spot a fake. So how's that done? Well, first of all, a hyperlink can be misleading, and there's a couple ways that that can happen. First is the hidden URL. So you know there's a link, you might get it in an email or on a website, and it's underlined or in a different color, so you know it's a link, but you don't know where the URL goes. Second thing is an imposter link. So this looks like a full link because it has the HTTP in it, but underneath that supposed URL is a different URL. So if I put my cursor over the word here, for example, I see that this link goes to www.maliciouswebsite.com. And this link that looks like it goes to Amazon goes to the same malicious website. And then lastly, there's the shortened URL. So this is something like a tiny URL or a bit.ly. It's just a pointer to a real URL, and it's been abbreviated. You really don't know the destination of a shortened URL until you expand it. Longurl.org is a handy tool for doing that, and there are others. So just browse to longurl.org, paste in the website address you want to know where it goes, and click the expand button, and it'll tell you the true destination. If you want to see the true URL, you can hover your mouse over the link, and then the destination will display as a pop-up tooltip or in the status bar. For example, this is Internet Explorer, and if I hover over a particular word, you see in the bottom left-hand corner, the destination URL is displayed. Or here's an example in an email. The link could be some text, or there could be a link under the photo itself. And if you're not sure whether it's legit, you should assume it isn't, or you can find out with a site checker like Sucuri Site Check. Let's say you get a link in an email. You can hover over it to see where the link goes, but if you're not sure if that's a good website or a bad one, you can right-click on the link. Don't left-click, because that will follow the link, and choose Copy Hyperlink. Go to sitecheck.sucuri.net, paste in the address of some website that you're concerned about, and click Scan Website. As you can see, this particular website is dangerous and blacklisted. So let's look at two seemingly identical URLs. These look the same, but are they really the same? Let's take them apart and find out. So the secret to reading a URL is to find the first single slash. So up at the front there'll be a couple of slashes after the HTTP, but you want to move along until you find the first single slash. There will be others, but you want the first single slash. Then you back up 2 dots from the first single slash, and the true destination will be between them. So you want to find that first single slash, back up 2 dots, and what's between these two is the important part. You can ignore the rest of the URL. If we know a little about domain names, it'll help us understand what we're looking at. So first of all, domains are hierarchical, and that hierarchy reads right to left. starting with the .com.org at the top and moving left. And a full domain name consists of three parts. There's what they call a top-level domain, such as .com, .org, .net. There's the site domain, such as PayPal, Yahoo, etc. And then there's a subdomain, which is often www or mobile or something else. Now, site domains and top-level domains are issued by official registrars, so you can pretty much trust that they are what they are because there's somebody watching over that. Subdomains, on the other hand, are self-issued, so whoever owns PayPal.com can put whatever subdomains they want on it, which means they can use them to mislead. Here's a couple of red flags. Watch out for the decoy domain in a subdomain. So this looks like a legitimate URL, www.yamazon.com. What's wrong with this? Well, let's take it apart. So if we look at the top-level domain here, we find that first single slash. What comes after it is the top-level domain. In this case, it's .biz. The site name is really ecom, and that whole www.amazon.com is actually subdomains. So your true destination is ecom.biz, not amazon.com. The amazon.com part is a decoy. That same trick can be used in reverse. They put the decoy domain after the slash. So what's wrong with this URL? Well, as you can see, if you look for that first single slash, what's before the first single slash is your true destination. Things that come after that first single slash are parts of the URL, but in this case, it's a decoy. So what are some other things to watch out for? Well, here's some warning signs in the site domain. There should be a dot separating the top-level domain from the site domain and the site domain from the subdomain. So if that dot is missing, they've mushed two parts of the URL together, or they've used a dash instead of the dot, that's a big red flag. Also, you might see a misspelling or a variation of the site name. So where you'd expect to see Amazon, you see Amazon with an M. And this is a really effective trick because if you're typing fast, you might type the wrong URL in and end up at a malicious site. The other thing that's common is they take a normal thing, normally spelled, but they add something to it. So it's Amazon-online or mobile-Amazon instead of just Amazon. Some other things to look out for in the top-level domain. Top-level domains that have been well established like .com, .org, .net, those have been around for a while, so they're more likely to be legitimate. Other top-level domains like .biz, .info haven't been around as long, so it's more likely you'll find a bad one. And some of the really new top-level domains like .social, .link, really watch out for those. They're kind of the red light district of the internet domain world. Also, the top-level domain may be a country code, so .us for USA, .ca for Canada. But if you're an English speaker living in an English-speaking country and the top-level domain is for a different country, such as .ru for Russia, that's another red sign. Let's take a quick quiz to find out how good you are at spotting a fake with what you've learned. What's the true destination of these URLs? Why don't you grab a piece of paper and write down what you think for each of these is the true destination. And then check the ones that you think are real versus the ones you think are fake. So press pause on the video and take your best shot at it, and when you think you're ready, press play. So here in purple are the real destinations of these URLs. We looked for that first single slash, backed up two dots. What's in between in purple is the real destination. But which are legit and which are bogus? This one, number 4, with Citibank.com, is the only legitimate one in this group. All the others are fakes. But why? Well, let's look at number 1. So it starts off with wikipedia.org. That looks good, but wait a minute, the single slash is way down here. The real destination is wikisearch.info, and wikipedia.org is a decoy. How about this next one? Facebook.social. So if the top-level domain is social, that's not what we would expect. The real destination should be facebook.com. .social is one of those new URLs that we shouldn't trust. How about number 3? Amazon.com. Well, there's a misspelling there. This is not Amazon.com. Number 4 looks good. So number 5, w2.ru. Well, this is a tricky one because a W-2 is a common IRS form, But clearly, we're not going to irs.gov. That's a decoy. The real destination is somewhere in Russia, because that's the country code for Russia. Number 6, Toys R Us. Well, you'll notice the .com is actually /com. Our real destination is toysr.us. .us is a US domain, but this isn't the real Toys R Us site. Theirs would be toysrus.com. bedbathbeyond.us. That seems to be okay. A couple red flags here though. One, the real Bed Bath & Beyond site is typically .com, not .us. The other thing is that Bed Bath & Beyond is their real name, not Bed Bath Beyond. Last one, Macy's.cn. Well, Macy's is definitely the right site domain for Macy's, but .cn is the country code for China. So let's recap. Hover over the URL and read it before you click. Find the real destination. Watch out for the red flags we just discussed, such as decoy domains, missing dots, and name variations. Now, what do you do if you messed up and you actually ate the bait? If you think you visited a malicious site, first thing to do is to make sure all your browser tabs and windows are closed. And watch out because the site may have launched some pop-up windows in the background. You want to make sure they're all closed. Then run a virus scan on your PC to make sure it didn't install anything. And if you went so far as to actually enter a password on a fake site, that's a real danger. So you need to make sure that, again, you close and restart your browser, all the windows, and then go to the real site by typing it into your browser and change your password there as soon as possible. So don't use the link you used before, but actually type in citibank.com or wherever it is. Once you're changing your password, think about whether you've used that same password on any other sites, and if so, be sure to change it there also. In general, it's a bad idea to use the same password on multiple sites, so choose a different password for each site. So congratulations, you now know a lot more than most people about how to detect and avoid malicious websites. I hope your browsing is safe and productive, and thanks for watching.